Most American households have less than 3 days of food on hand. Not 3 weeks, not 3 months, 3 days. And right now, in the summer of 2026, that number matters more than it ever has. Tariff adjustments are still moving through the supply chain. Shipping delays from Southeast Asia are hitting processed food categories hard. And the prices you see on shelves today are not the prices you will see in August. So before July gets away from you, here are 10 items to put in your cart on your next Walmart run, and why each one is about to cost you more if you wait. 10. Iodized salt. A 26-ounce canister of great value iodized salt runs $1.28 at Walmart right now. That price sounds irrelevant until you understand what salt actually does in a crisis. Salt is not a seasoning. Salt is a preservation system. Before refrigeration existed, salt was the only reason meat survived longer than 48 hours. If you lose power for more than 3 days, which I covered in detail in our grid down scenario video, your refrigerator becomes a liability. Salt gives you a way to extend protein. The hidden angle here is iodine deficiency. In a long-term disruption where processed food disappears, iodine intake drops fast, and iodine deficiency is the leading cause of preventable cognitive impairment worldwide. Your $1.28 is not just buying flavor, it is buying iodine you cannot get anywhere else in a collapsed supply chain. Buy 4 to 6 canisters minimum. 9. White rice. 5 pounds of great value long-grain white rice is $3.98. Brown rice sounds healthier, and it is, under normal conditions. But brown rice goes rancid in 6 months because of its oil content. White rice, stored in a sealed container in a cool, dark place, lasts 25 to 30 years. That is not a prepper myth. That is USDA-verified shelf life data. The detail other channels skip is the caloric density argument. 1 pound of white rice contains roughly 1,600 calories. At 5 pounds per bag, you are buying 8,000 calories for under $4. No other food category comes close to that ratio at that price. Rice also absorbs flavors from whatever protein or sauce you pair it with, which makes it the base of almost every long-term meal plan that actually works. Grab 2 bags. 8. Canned diced tomatoes. At 98 cents per 14.5-ounce can, this is the most underestimated item on this list. Most preppers think about tomatoes as a side ingredient. Wrong. Canned tomatoes are the flavor backbone of every shelf-stable meal that does not taste like survival food. Chili, stew, rice dishes, bean soups. Tomatoes make all of them edible for weeks on end. The hidden angle. Canned tomatoes are one of the highest natural sources of lycopene, an antioxidant that becomes significantly more bioavailable when cooked or processed. In a grid-down scenario where fresh produce disappears immediately, your antioxidant intake collapses. This 98-cent can is doing nutritional work that a $40 supplement bottle cannot replace. Grab 12 cans. They stack flat and weigh almost nothing per calorie delivered. But what comes next solves a problem nobody talks about. 7. Crisco vegetable shortening. A 48-ounce can of Crisco is $7.48 right now. I know what you are thinking. You are thinking this is about cooking oil. It is not. Shortening has a 2-year unopened shelf life, which beats liquid vegetable oil significantly. But here is what no other channel in this space is telling you. Crisco burns. A 48-ounce can of shortening with a wick inserted into it burns for approximately 45 days of continuous light. That is a candle that cost you $7.48 and doubles as a cooking fat. In the first 72 hours of a power outage, before people start thinking clearly, light sources disappear from store shelves faster than water does. This can sit in your pantry and handles both problems simultaneously. It also makes biscuits, pie crusts, and fried food that keeps morale intact when everything else is falling apart. 1 can minimum, 2 if you have the space. 6. Baking soda. A 4-pound bag of Arm & Hammer baking soda at Walmart is $2.98. Preppers almost never put this on a list because it sounds too domestic. That is a mistake. Baking soda is a leavening agent, which means it is the reason bread, biscuits, and pancakes rise without yeast. If your stockpile does not include a leavening agent, your flour supply is essentially decorative. You cannot make edible bread from flour and water alone. Beyond cooking, baking soda functions as a tooth cleaner, an antacid for stomach distress, a fire suppression agent for small grease fires, and a cleaning compound when municipal water becomes unreliable. 4 pounds for $2.98 is 6 months of daily baking and household utility. No single item on this list punches above its weight more than this one. 5. Dried pinto beans. 4 pounds of dried pinto beans runs $4.48. Beans and rice together form a complete protein, meaning they contain all 9 essential amino acids the human body cannot produce on its own. That matters when meat disappears from your access. What other channels consistently miss is the preparation gap. Dried beans require soaking and long cook times, which means fuel. If your cooking fuel is limited, you need to soak beans overnight before any crisis cooking to cut boil time in half. This is the operational detail that separates a functional stockpile from a pile of food you cannot use. Beans also expand dramatically when cooked. 4 pounds of dried beans becomes roughly 10 pounds of cooked food. The caloric value per dollar here is second only to white rice. And the protein content blows rice out of the water. 4 pounds minimum. But what comes next changed the way I think about long-term food storage entirely. 4. Instant oats. A 42-ounce container of great value instant oats is $3.98. Oats are on every prepper list, which is why most channels skip the detail that actually matters. Instant oats require nothing but hot water. Not boiling water, hot water. In a fuel conservation scenario, that distinction saves you hours of cooking fuel per week. A 42-ounce container contains roughly 30 servings. At 1 serving per morning, that is a month of breakfasts for under $4. The hidden angle is beta-glucan, the soluble fiber in oats that actively lowers LDL cholesterol. In a stress situation, and a crisis is nothing but sustained stress, cardiovascular risk spikes. Oats are doing double duty as both a caloric base and a cardiovascular buffer. Grab 2 containers. 3. Apple cider vinegar. A 32-ounce bottle of great value apple cider vinegar is $3.48. This is the item most preppers buy once, put in a cabinet and forget about. Here is why it belongs on a July buy list specifically. Vinegar prices are tied to apple harvest cycles and corn feedstock, both of which are impacted by the current agricultural input cost increases. The functional uses are broader than most people realize. Vinegar is a food preservative, a cleaning disinfectant, a produce wash when municipal water is questionable, a natural weed killer, and according to multiple peer-reviewed studies, a meaningful aid in blood sugar regulation after carbohydrate-heavy meals. When your stockpile is 80% carbohydrates, which it will be, blood sugar management is not a wellness preference. It is a health necessity. 2 bottles minimum. 2. Powdered whole milk. A 25.6-ounce bag of great value powdered whole milk runs $8.97. This is the highest single item price on this list and the most justified. Whole powdered milk provides calcium, vitamin D, and fat in a shelf-stable format with a 25-year unopened shelf life. In a long-term disruption, dairy disappears from stores within 24 hours. Kids, elderly family members, and anyone with high physical output need fat calories that do not come from oil or shortening alone. Powdered milk also reconstitutes into a cooking ingredient for sauces, baked goods, and soups. The hidden angle is that most people buy non-fat powdered milk because it is cheaper. Non-fat powdered milk does not provide the fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K that whole milk carries. The $2 price difference is not optional. Buy whole. 1 bag minimum, 2 if you have children. And the number 1 item, the one I did not expect when I first researched this list, the one that most preppers have never considered, is this. 1. Pure vanilla extract. A 4-ounce bottle of McCormick Pure Vanilla Extract at Walmart is $6.98. Here is why this is number 1. Pure vanilla extract is 35% alcohol by volume. That is 70 proof. That makes it a food-grade antiseptic. In a grid-down scenario where pharmacies are inaccessible, a 4-ounce bottle of vanilla extract cleans minor wounds, sterilizes surfaces, and functions as a mild anesthetic for dental pain when applied directly to gum tissue. No other $7 item in the grocery store is simultaneously a cooking ingredient, a barter commodity, a morale item, because food that tastes good matters more than most preppers admit, and a medical supply. In our next video, I am going to break down the complete $30 medical supply run at Walmart that treats 90% of grid-down health emergencies without a single prescription. Vanilla extract is on that list too. Here is where we land. 10 items, 1 Walmart run. Total cost of $44.59. That is less than a takeout dinner for two. Salt, rice, canned tomatoes, shortening, baking soda, pinto beans, instant oats, apple cider vinegar, powdered milk, and vanilla extract. These 10 items together cover calories, protein, fat, leavening, preservation, nutrition, light, and first aid. I put together a free checklist of everything on this list with exact Walmart SKUs, current prices, and storage instructions. The link is in the description. And next week, the $30 Walmart medical run that handles 90% of grid-down health emergencies. That one changes how you think about the pharmacy aisle forever. The best time to build your stockpile was last year. The second best time is right now.